Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. As I promised you guys last video, we're gonna be going over the story on my Mark III Toyota Supra. So, I mean, we got a couple things that we do need to handle today, but I want to share you guys the story of this car. Back in the summer of 2020, I was in the market for my first project car. I didn't necessarily know what I was looking for. I knew I wanted something that was Japanese and a little bit more sporty. I was always just looking out for something that was really cool, that I thought would be really fun. So I spent like a couple months just looking around, seeing what I can find. I was actually looking at Celicas, to be honest. I was looking at Celicas, Civics, hell, even FRS's BRZs. I was also looking at Nissan 350s and 370Zs. And the Mark III was never really on my radar. I wanted something a little bit more modern, but it wasn't until my dad found a listing for a Mark III Toyota Supra on Facebook Marketplace. And it's been just a wild journey ever since. Now, the Mark III isn't exactly everybody's cup of tea, right? It's an old 80s car. It's never really been like heralded as the Supra to own. Like, a lot of people are off on their own looking at like Mark IVs, and even nowadays people are getting even more Mark Vs, especially with the A91 coming with a 6-speed. But this was also on the market, a lot less than what the Mark IV or Mark V are like touting for, being upwards of like $40,000 to $60,000, $80,000. This baby cost me only $1,900. Now, you guys are probably thinking, like, $1,900? You must have gotten a real shit box there. What you're actually looking at is something a lot more desirable than what a lot of people would think. But I'll get to what happened to this thing later on. I knew kind of what I wanted in a project car, something that would challenge me, something that would get me out of my comfort zone, stuff that I can actually learn to work on my car with. So I was looking for stuff with bodywork, paint, hell, even some mechanical issues. My dad found another listing on Facebook Marketplace for this baby, and it just checked all the boxes. Now, this car definitely did come with a lot of its issues, but it also came with a whole bunch of cool little upgrades as well, because it was a former track car. The previous owners had it set out to continue its life on the track, had it raring to go for a drag build. He even had a 7M GTE swap ready to go into this car, but then he realized the car was too heavy. It wasn't going to be as competitive as he thought it was. It then went up for sale. Before that, his friend actually owned this car, who then sold it to him, who they used it as a drift car, which is why it came with a whole bunch of cool different upgrades. But a lot of these mods that were done to the car, like, for instance, these XXR 526 wheels, these Eibach lowering springs, an unbranded, unknown, straight through 3-inch stainless steel catback. It had a clean chassis, but it also had a blown motor, and it even came with this bunk Grant style steering wheel. This is just trash. Now, the cool part about it is that a lot of the mods that were done are things that I would have done myself, going for aftermarket wheels, lowered track stance, and it even came with a stainless steel exhaust, which doesn't sound half bad. But this car is super cool. It's super clean. The car itself is in really good condition. Like, it was a clean chassis. It even came with a limited slip differential in the back. How did I find out about that? I was just messing around with the rear wheels to see if I can figure out if they had done a welded diff. Yes, the other one turns in the same direction. The previous owner told me that this car was a track car. So we're kind of just at a point now where I'm just trying to get it back to being roadworthy again with the things I have available. So now that you guys understand why I've gone this route, is because it challenges me and it forces me to learn more things about the car that I need to get done on it. I have a couple things that I need to get done today, and we have some parts that are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started on it. got today are some brake line hose clips for the front of the car, because when I raised this car up a couple days ago, I noticed that the brake hoses on the front were actually loose and they were like just flopping around everywhere, and they were actually missing the brake clips, which is why we have some new brake clips direct from Rock Auto. They're pretty simple for what they are. It's just the brake hose clips. Direct factory replacement for these clips, just to lock in the brake lines. We have the light bulbs, and then we also have some rear hatch support struts for the rear, because this car has a big issue with the rear hatch struts, in that when this hatch comes up, it only comes up about halfway. It's supposed to go up a lot higher. It's not supposed to go like that. So we're gonna tackle this first. There were hatch struts that came off of this car are the absolute wrong ones. These are what the factory struts are supposed to look like. It's supposed to be like a threaded end with like a screw-on strut head. But the ones that came off of this car are the clip-on style ones, which come off rather easily. The ones that I need are not on this car and are on the parts car. It's just that they won't come off of the ball head. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe modifying these strut heads, so this way I can actually use these and still be able to clip it onto this car. The main problem is that it doesn't fit. I wouldn't be able to put this on even if I wanted to. I mean, what I could probably do, since it is plastic, is just like drill it out and then create threads on into this plastic like on here, but I don't feel like that would be stable enough, just because it'd be metal into plastic, and then that's just the only point of contact without any like retaining clip, which is the issue with this, because even if I were to use these heads, the retaining clip would be too small to fit around this beefy boy here.
72 hours later.
So it's a couple days later, and the car definitely gave me some issues in trying to install the struts. We were able to figure something out with the hatch struts, and what we came up with was to just use the new struts with something that's called a helicoil kit. So what we did was we took off the plastic head, the struts that came off of this car, and we used what's called a helicoil kit. This is the one that I bought. The size you're gonna need for these struts is an 8mm 125. We ended up getting one of these kits, so it's actually really interesting how these things work. You get these essentially springs, you get these thread inserts, right? And installation tool. You thread it onto, so it's got a little slot in there. And what you do is you grab this end that's like sticking out in the middle, grab that end with this, it just inserts in there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna thread it into whatever surface you're gonna use. A lot of people use this for like cylinder heads and the actual engine block itself. We found that we can use this for this installation. And what we did was we just threaded the bottom of it. We drilled it out, threaded out the bottom half of these strut heads. And We drilled it out. We threaded it with the 8mm 125 tab that came with the kit, and threw some red thread locker on there to make sure it doesn't come out. Well, we were able to figure out the bracket mechanism. So the plastic bushing that came on the new ones, this is the old one, these plastic bushings aren't exactly the strongest. What we decided to do was to replace this piece entirely with a nut, bolt, and spacer combo. Just so this way it's a lot easier for installation and uninstallation for when we need to replace these. And the cool thing is that now, since we have the helicoil in there, it's essentially just a thread insert. We can easily replace these a lot easier than having to take off this bracket off of the car. I just think it's actually pretty elegant in how we decided to go about this. Luckily, I was able to figure out how to take apart minimally the interior of the car, because now I can just pry these down and just grab these 10mm nuts for the brackets. So let's go ahead and get into installation. Okay, so now that we've got the hatch working, these struts are like, they're supporting it really well, actually. I'm actually pretty stoked on how these turned out and how well they're actually holding up, so yeah. Yeah, so now we were able to get the rear struts working. It's so nice being able to just actually have a hatch that opens up all the way again, as if this hatch ever opened up properly before. And it actually holds at the proper height now. Look at that. Look at that. I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Like before, I'd need to like duck down below, and that's just how high I'd need to get in here. But now I can just like stand up straight. So that's taken care of. Just a great time to be hanging out with the car again and hanging out with you guys again. Like, this is an awesome time. It's a fun time to be able to just make these videos with you guys. It's always fun. The Supra is definitely moving along. It's definitely still needs a whole bunch of more love. Then again, this is one of those things where, you know, just even buying a project car is just so much fun altogether. Just because now I get to learn how to work on a lot of the stuff that's in the car already. And sometimes it's been a rough day for a video. There was so much that went on to happen with this. I couldn't get to the brake hoses, even though that should be an easy fix, but now I realize I actually have to disconnect them in order to actually properly route them. It's just a whole nother mess, and I need to figure out what's going on with that. Lessons had to be learned, things are to be worked on. I hope you guys are along for the journey, and I hope you guys are enjoying the videos so far. But yeah, if you guys are interested in watching me actually do some more stuff to this car, I have another video that's gonna come up on the end screen for you guys to watch. We're gonna keep pushing, we're gonna keep grinding. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested in the content you guys are gonna see. You guys are gonna want to stick around for the next few videos, because oh boy, it's getting there, and I'm pumped to just create these next few videos just because it's something different. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you guys are notified with that, and make sure you hit the notification bell. Give the video a like if you like what you see. Share this video with your friends, and leave a comment down below of what you guys want to see more from me. And until next time, guys, peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright guys, peace.